So here's what happened. I'm playing in this club on Tuesday night, and I'm walking out, and the guy who'd set it on keyboards comes up to me, and he's like, I had actually played that Bob Marley song Stir It Up with somebody, and he comes up to me and goes, "You're playing a wrong note."
All right, you asked for it.
No, good night, no. Hey, nice to see you. You played a wrong note. I play lots of wrong notes. Most of the people I know do. I'm like, that's interesting. He's like, what was that tune? He's like, oh, that song Stir It Up. I'm like, well, that's a pretty hard song to mess up. I thought it. I didn't say it because I was still being a gentleman. It's like, yeah, you're playing a wrong note. A bass player told me you were playing a wrong note. And I'm like, okay. He said, it's A, C sharp, D, E. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's A, C sharp, D, E. So, let me demonstrate to you. I believe this is how, I've never actually heard the song, I've played it a few times. It goes something like, here, let me let it turn around a second. Something like this, maybe. Something like that, which essentially is correct. It's A, C sharp, D, C sharp. Excuse me. D major, E major. So he's like, you're playing C instead of C sharp. Now, one of those like quick cutaways happens in my head, like on Family Guy or
Sorry, Kevin Bacon wasn't in Footloose.
Scrubs. I've never watched Scrubs, but apparently it happens on Scrubs. And I'm like, now, if I were to play C instead of C sharp, if C was the only note I was playing wrong, because he didn't say, hey, you played C wrong, and then you played G instead of G sharp, and that, no, it just, you played C instead of C sharp. So, how would that work? Now, I've had a couple free drinks, and, you know, this is kind of where my left hand was. And it fits. A, C sharp, D, E. Or I might have even gotten super lazy just going like that. Big what? Want to fight about it? So, he's implying that in order to play C, it would have actually been something like... Which, I mean, does that look comfortable to you? It doesn't look comfortable. It doesn't feel comfortable. I mean, anybody who, even if you've never held one of these instruments before in your life, that doesn't look like something you could do all night, every night. And let's see how it sounds. Let that thing turn on. Alright, here we go. Here's what I allegedly was doing. The real culprit here. Now, even if you do not have trained ears, that sounds awful. And boy, I don't think I've ever been drunk enough to think, hey, that sounds good.
Oh, sorry, Kevin Bacon wasn't in Footloose.
What? Of course he was.
No, he wasn't. You lose.
So, looks painful, sounds painful. Okay, so the other alternative is if I was playing C instead of C sharp, I could have also gone... It's neither of these, by the way. You probably heard more string noise than note the last time because that wasn't working either. So let's try it this way. Which you have to do that little shift there. And again, I allegedly did this on some free pints of Coors Light. Go figure. Alright, here we go. Again, difficult to play. Actually easier than the other way, but still not easy. It's just, I would have had to have tried to do that.
Lose.
Of course he was. He was the star.
Nope, you're wrong. Look it up.
I don't have to look it up. It's common knowledge.
Now, the only other way I could have played C instead of C sharp was if my entire hand position was like a half step off. Like, are you ever typing and your like hands just end up on the wrong side? You know, like a key off and you look and there's like a couple lines of gibberish, which you thought was perfectly adequate typing. So the only other, excuse me, the only other way I could have played C would have been to have my entire hand position be a half step off. And let's see how that would have worked out. Again, I don't know if you have to be a trained musician to know that that sounds bad, and I was actually playing with pretty decent people who would have been able to tell that that was incorrect. So anyhow, he just kind of insisted, no, you're playing C, and
Nope, sorry, Kevin Bacon wasn't in Footloose.
What?
I told him it was you or it was your keyboard, and
I don't have to look it up. It's common knowledge.
Nope.
He was on the cover of People magazine when the movie came.
we'll see what happens next time.
Kevin Bacon was a star of Footloose. It was a huge movie. He was the lead.
Anyhow, I guess the moral of the story is it's easier to do the right thing than the wrong thing, and don't take what people say to you in bars too seriously. Have a good weekend.